I'm all AJ has. He's all I have, and I'll protect him with my life. Just like Lee did for me.
In all my years of conquest, violence, slaughter, it was never personal. But I'll tell you now, what I'm about to do to your stubborn, annoying little planet. I'm gonna enjoy it. Very, very much.
It's time!
Ladies and gentlemen, it's time. Welcome back to the channel, and I am back for another Walking Dead video. And in today's video, my friends, we're going to be discussing my review for Clementine Book 2, the continuation of Skybound's new trilogy covering Clementine the Walking Dead Telltale series. There has been a comic and a past book. This is the second of 3. There'll be one more book after this. Unfortunately, when I finished this reading and when everything finished up, we didn't get a timetable when that final book will release. But I am disgusted, to say the least, with what I read. It is one of the worst books, and I'm not exaggerating this, it is one of the worst books I have ever read in my life. It is a complete crapping on of not just the Walking Dead Telltale storyline, but Clementine's character. It's actually hard to find something the entire Walking Dead community agrees on, but this is the one thing that this book in particular is awful. It is worse than book 1. Book 1, as I said, on the premise is about a 2 or 3 out of 10. I think I gave it a 2.5. This book might be a 0 or a 1. It is awful. If we just take a bunch of unnecessary BS out of it, this is probably a 3 or 4 or 5 book. It's pretty decent, just on its storyline alone. But when they shoved in what they did, how they did it, and when it became the whole premise of the story, when I sadly told you all that this writer, Tilly Walden, is known for romance novels. This is what she does. When they end the freaking book off with them in a stupid-ass flank scene, I'm not gonna say the word because YouTube will demonetize me. That's literally how they ended the book. Are you freaking kidding me? What? As you tell, I'm very angry. And this is going to be a 20-minute-ish review. I'm not going to do as long as book 1. Book 1, I feel like I dragged it on a bit. So this one, I'm just going to go into the nitty-gritty. I'm going to hit the points and say what I need to say and move on from this. Because honestly, like I said, I've got other games to cover on the channel. I got other stuff to do. Telltale's coming back, Wolf 2 next year. So, you know, this is going to be a short-lived little thing for me. And again, thank you to everyone on TikTok, YouTube, Twitter that has asked me and encouraged me to do this. Yes, this was always a plan for me to do it. Obviously, I've been a little busy, so this is why it's out so late. But if you missed any other reviews on the books or the comics, you can go check those out. There's a playlist link down in the description. You can check my comic review, full upload. Same with the book 1 review, upload, all that. And my live readings. Now, I will say, I just want to give a thank you to Samantha. She's contacted me on TikTok. I've been tagged on a lot of things. She made a petition, make Tilly Walden's Clementine comic non-canon. Again, I know this petition probably won't do anything, but hey, why not everyone go sign it? Let Skybound know that we don't want this, that this is non-canon, and this is a travesty. So I'm gonna link the petition in the description. I'll throw it up here on screen. Go check it out. Go leave a signature. And if you're listening to Skybound, wake the hell up. And in a matter of 2 weeks, it's got over 7,400 signatures. I'm guaranteeing after this video, hopefully we can get to 10K plus. Who knows where else it could go. Now, before I get into this full review, I just also want to reiterate the point. I do not condone any harassment or hate to Skybound/Tilly Walden, as I continue to reiterate in all my videos. Criticism is fine, and that's what we should limit this to. Because I have to be honest. Yes, this book blows, and it's awful, but it doesn't give you the... It doesn't give you the right to be an asshole to Tilly Walden or Skybound. Just be respectful, be critical, but don't frickin' be hateful, please. Alright, let's get started. For you guys that aren't caught up, what happens in the original comic is basically Clementine leaves the school in AJ. And in book 1, throughout the trials and tribulations, they basically go on a little adventure to a mountain settlement, meet a couple twins, one of them turns evil. There's a new love interest for Clementine that I am 100% certain is a self-insert of the writer Tilly Walden named Ricka. They kind of have some kind of blossoming romance out of nowhere that's just shoved in your faces. One of the best characters, a Amish kid named Amos, is basically killed off, and they fly away after, you know, the twin gets killed, evil twin gets killed, and a bunch of other decent characters get killed. They didn't have many in the first book, but they just fly away, and now to book 2, where Clementine and her new friends are rescued by an island community led by an enigmatic doctor called Miss Morrow. But just as Clementine's scars are finally beginning to heal, she discovers dark secrets that threaten to tear her new life apart. Can Miss Morrow be trusted? What about the rest of the Islanders? And just how far will Clementine go to protect the one she loves? Honestly, after hearing this description, I kind of knew this book was going to be a disaster. Like, Clementine had just spent, what, a couple weeks, couple months with these characters. There is no reason that this should be, like, loves. Like, for one, there's only really 2 characters that she goes with. One of them, again, another one I guess to say is the cat. But again, the cat's really not even brought up much in the book. It's just more of just like a side, oh yeah, we have a little cat. We bring our cat too. Like, it's a foolish little thing. Like, it's not a rosy situation. It's just foolish in my mind. Tilly Walden loves cats, so it makes perfect sense why that happens. There's mainly just Ricka, Olivia, and Clementine. Ricka, self-insert romance, the one that Clementine supposedly has feelings for, even though it's completely shoved in your face and just comes out of nowhere. And then Olivia, who, she has some things happen to her in this book. She's basically the good twin that, you know, leads on. I don't really have many issues with her character. She's not a bad character or anything, but she's okay. And then we got all the new island community members. So how the book basically starts off is, remember that plane that they took at the end of book 1, they crash. And Clementine, you know, in her new prosthetic that she has, it starts to get, like, really infected, and she gets really, really sick. And they run to a walker horde because Ricka wants to find a rabbit or something. Again, completely stupid. They have to run off, and they're trying to get off on, like, an island after killing some walkers. And Clementine has these dumb-ass dream sequences with Amos, who, again, great character, but is he really worthy of having dream sequences? Like, basically, she had a dream in the first chapter of basically saying, like, is it time for me to go? Basically saying, like, is it time for me to die? Completely pointless. Nothing, no dream/flashbacks with Lee, Kenny, anyone important to her past, AJ included. They're all just completely forgotten about. They don't exist in this comic. It's actually boneheaded and ridiculous. And they only have a couple references to the past in this entire book. It is actually kind of criminal. So, there's like 2 references in particular that I'm going to talk about that really, it is sickening. It is sickening, to say the least. The first one being about AJ's birth. And Clementine basically kind of just throws it under the dirt and basically says something really dumb to it. Basically about, like, she says, I've seen a baby born before, but it was so scary I blocked it out. What? Did she play the games? She literally seen the birth with Rebecca. She was holding the baby a minute or 2 after it was born. What, an hour? Not even? Not that long. What? Just refers to AJ again as baby. Just a baby, nobody important. Just a baby. Just like it was an insignificant child. What? And there's another thing in particular that really just, like, annoys me. One thing in the book where Clementine mentions the only scar that she can remember the details of how she got is her gunshot wound. Which is a reference to Arvo, but, the dog bite? The one on her foot? Really? Again, it just reiterates the point that this, Tilly Walden really admitted, she did not play the games. She's just making it up as she goes. Like, I think there's another thing or 2, but I'm not gonna, there's just so many inconsistencies with this storyline compared to the games one. It's clearly evident she did not play the games. If there's one positive I could take out of this book is that it's better illustrated. The artwork is better. I can see actually what is going on, because in book 1, my god, the blacks and whites were not used properly, and it was hard to keep track. Still, at times during this book, I lose track because there's so much going on. Like when they introduced all the new characters. Emmy, John, Amir, Shufane, Jeanette, Giles, Mercy. Oh wait, also Miss Morrow. Like they shove it all in our freaking face. All these new characters. And the thing about all these new characters, I don't think there's one memorable new character. Not even the Miss Morrow lady. They all stink. They're terrible. Anyone would like to contest me on that? Let me know. But I don't give a crap about any of them. To be honest, they're all just mid. They don't give me any time to connect with them. It just feels like it's shoved in your face. The only really good chapter for me was chapter 7, and we'll get to that a little bit later, but really nothing else really stands out. A big plot point in this book is Olivia and her pregnancy. So around like the, I believe, 4th or 5th chapter, it's basically revealed when Clementine finally finds Olivia after, you know, they went to like a lighthouse or something. Clementine runs Olivia, and Olivia's like, oh, I feel the bite inside me. Like, Clementine thought she was bitten, but Clementine realized, oh yeah, you're pregnant. So her and Amos, remember in the first book, there was a particular scene in, you know, where I was saying, like, are they doing something? So supposedly they, you know, and this is Amos's child with Olivia. Really? That in itself is like, okay. So I could tell they definitely liked each other, but I didn't expect it to be like, oh yeah, they, you know, have a child. Like, what? And a majority of this book, it seems like it's a romance novel. This is not The Walking Dead. Yes, The Walking Dead comics and games and some of the TV show has romance, has love, but it is never the premise of the story. And when it is, at times, it actually is written well. This is just shoved in your face. It's blatant. There's no build-up. Ricka just basically begs Clementine, I love you. I know you love me. What? How is this good writing? This is just thrown out of nowhere. It's thrown out of the deepest part of the ocean. And Clementine's, I'm not ready for this, Ricka. I don't know. I want to explore the world. Like, what? This is really targeted for teens? Are you kidding me? Like, basically the whole thing, you know, you basically find out Miss Morrow likes to mark the dead. She puts tags on them. You know, she examines their bodies. She's a psycho. There's a bar mitzvah with the 3 girls, Olivia, Clementine, Ricka. But basically the whole premise is Ricka and Clementine in their quote-unquote blossoming romance. And it hits ahead at numerous times. Clementine is portrayed as weak. She cries a lot. She's very emotional over what? This girl she's barely known for a couple months at the least? It's honestly ridiculous. It is ridiculous. And just because Ricka begs Clementine, she loves her, telling Clementine, oh, I love you too. There's some scene where she's, I love you too, and I wanted to vomit. It's sickening. This is what The Walking Dead has become. This is what Clementine's become, but it gets worse. You know, chapter 7 basically is where it hits the fan, and all the walkers that Miss Morrow had basically, you know, hidden deeper in the island, basically had like a little community of all the walkers, basically hoping that they wash up and then she can mark them, etc. They basically get free, and one thing leads to another, and they basically attack the community. Everyone almost dies. Pretty much almost everyone dies. I believe 1 or 2 of the characters survive, but pretty much everyone dies, and they die in such dumb ways too. Like the one boy, it's like, oh, my brother, I gotta save him. He just runs off, and they show a scene with him just getting his face bitten in by a walker. I mean, it is ridiculous. And that's the only chapter that really feels like The Walking Dead, because it's pure havoc. It is pretty interesting though to watch and see. But chapter 8, basically, you know, Clementine and Ricka confess their love, they kiss. I mean, this is the plot. Like, they're going off on some other place, but nothing beats chapter 9, the worst chapter of the entire series so far, where they basically, Ricka and Clementine basically talk about, you know, the S word. And it actually gets ridiculous, because Ricka's like, have you ever done it before? Clementine's like, no, I haven't really done it before. And she's like, you know, they're like in bed together, they're like close up together, and I was just gonna sound like, this is The Walking Dead? This is Clementine? This is what Lee is looking at from the heavens? Unbelievable. I mean, and they also had it. They actually had it. That is sickening. I can't believe that is what they did. Teenagers having, you know, that's how they ended the book. It ends on this. And she's like crying at the end, and that's it. It cuts from that to her like kind of like looking at the sunlight, and she's kind of crying, and that's it. That's the end of the book. No after teaser, no release date. That's it. That romance is shoved in your face. It is so unnecessary, and it is done so poorly. I would have no problem if there was actually some build up to it, and they actually made Rika a likable character. Because my goodness, there's not much to like about her. And even they say in the book numerous times, she's annoying. There's I don't know anyone here that likes Rika. I'm sorry. There's not much really other to say than it's a disaster. It's done so poorly. It's so out of character. And the fact that Clementine actually did this is just, it almost makes me want to cry because it's just so ridiculous. It is such a betrayal that, hey, if something was done, don't you think it would have been a good build up? This is awful. This is just pathetic. It was awful. It is a pathetic display of what you do when you hand such a beloved character into the wrong person / wrong company's hands. Skybound, I know you guys aren't going to end it, but when book 3 is over, either give the reins back to Telltale or just confirm these as non-canon and end it there, because I'm sick of this. I'm sick of seeing this. I'm done with this crap. And again, I could go through a lot more of the specific plot points, but I've already gone through it. It's ridiculous. It's bad. It's basically wrapped up to be a romance novel. And that's not what this should be. So, Skybound, please, for the love of goodness, either confirm this as non-canon or just move on after book 3 and just say goodbye to Clementine the Walking Dead. But we know that ain't gonna happen. Or give it to Telltale, who actually knows what to do with the character, actually knows how to write up romances like Lewis and Violet. I feel bad for every single Lewis Violet fan out there. They've been done the dirtiest here. If you romance Clementine in season 4, you've been done absolutely dirty. And even if you didn't romance her, you're done dirty as well, because they forced this out of nowhere. It's a self-insert too. I'm just at a loss of words, honestly. My overall rating for Clementine Book 2 is a 0 out of 10. I don't think there is anything positive other than the artwork being good. I don't even think that's worthy of giving it even a half a point. It's awful. Skybound, I'm sick into my stomach. And any fan of the game, any true fan of the game, would give it either a 0, 1, or 2. Because this is awful. It is just awful. I never would have thought of the day The Walking Dead would turn into a romance novel. But here it is. Way to shit on Telltale's legacy, Skybound. Anyways, if you guys did enjoy this, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe. I'm at a loss of words, and I'm ready to move on. I got other stuff to cover on this channel, so thank you guys again, and let me know what you thought of the book. Give me your comments down below. We'll be talking about book 3 in due time when I hear stuff about it, but for now, I'm moving on. You guys can understand, Dom's had it. I've had it with this. I'm moving on. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Drop a like and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next video covering Telltale Games or The Walking Dead. Thank you so much, and we'll catch y'all later. Peace.
Just trying to unwind, sitting on the stairs.